Jim, if you want to make sure everything's good to go, because I'm live and stuff, should be 25.
Are you long rested?
Yes, you should be long rested. You all chose to long rest, as I recall. That was a good place to stop.
I'm
going to keep talking.
Yeah, I hear it. It's quiet.
It's quiet, he says. Let me...
yeah.
I can turn... Like, everything's quiet? Or just me?
Yeah, just like the overall volume of the stream is quiet. And I feel like I hear myself twice.
I don't know why. I only hear you once. Everything's turned up a little bit.
Like, my microphone sounds like it has a Vox.
Yeah, that's... Anybody else hear that on Jim's mic? That's a no. Okay. Alright.
Nope.
Okay. Well.
Otherwise, it's fine.
Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to another episode of Mike's campaign of Sugoi. Sauce. There we go. Nope, ran out of air. As always, we have our wonderful compatriots, which will go across the screen. We have Deacon Sylvia, the knowledge cleric, rested Bellarmine, the great, very happily in his chair there. We have Canadin Stormblessed, the high elf monk, Zach. We have you, a very simple title for the Furblug druid from Jeff. And then we have the gnome tinkerer, Babbage, Jim, and then yours truly as the person hosting this shindig of adventure we have going on here. So, when we last were with our compatriots, they managed to basically crash into the home of two Yetis that almost dispatched them pretty quickly before, but with lots of time to prepare and traps and a choke point and strategic use, they basically were able to dispatch both of them with very little consequence, really. They managed to exact-seize the second Yeti with literally the last attack before I was going to blast them all with extremely damaging cold air. So with that,
some of us, there's geometry going on.
Yes, there was a lot of planning and things that went on with that. So with that, we find ourselves back basically in this winter place. The group has, now that they've dispatched the owners of said domicile, a safe place to rest before venturing back out into what is a very, so far, unhospitable, wintry environment. And I genuinely have no idea what they're going to do from here. So with that, yes, you are all long rested. If there's anything specific you wanted to do during your long rests, whether it's, I don't know, rebuild something, remanage engines, or...
yeah, so I can craft during my rests without issue.
You do have your igloo that you all can sleep in comfortably, but now that you're sort of safe, I don't know if you want to just... There is this warm pool of water, or at least not frozen pool of water. Somebody's rolling a lot of You is rolling a lot of dice for reasons.
Yeah, I did.
Portents 1, Portents 2, Wheel Woe, Ring of the Winding Path, Sentry Amulet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Portents.
Yeah, all the woes. And yes, all of your portents. That's a good thing to reset. Any of your magical items, if they have charges, I'm not going to be responsible for maintaining tracking all that. I've got plenty to do over here.
Did the Deacon find out? Did Bellarmine, find out everything he needed to about his cloak? That's right.
The Yeti cloak?
No, it was on the pile.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we put on Yeti outfits, and then I put on the cloak over it.
Oh yeah, what did I do with the... You all have Yeti, that's true. You do all have Yeti... What did I do with those?
You put them as an item.
But I'm wearing it for style.
There we go. Yeah, you don't need it. That's right. I think I have it on everybody's...
Yeah, I see it as an item. Under for everyone.
There we go. Yep.
Yeti Fur.
You all have Yeti Fur Coats, which makes it so that... I mean, it's not perfect. It's still like ridiculously cold outside, but it helps. You can not. You don't have to be inside your little heat rings,
which is nice. It frees
all
up
the time. But certainly you can't stay outside it for too long. But it's not like a.
So mechanically, if I'm in a Yeti coat, I don't have the heat source. How long can I move around in those horrible conditions?
I set it. Of course, now it will pop up on my screen. I think I closed it.
So it says
yeah, I think I'm
you have advantage on saving throws to resist the effects of cold weather.
So is that once every hour that you roll?
So typically when you're in extreme cold for longer than an hour, you simply just gain a point of exhaustion. So we'd have to figure out what that means mechanically as a result of the...
I'm just curious about the gating mechanism. So it's not like you put on the coat and you can run for 10 hours before I make you roll anything. Because it doesn't seem like it's that.
Whenever the temperature is at or below 0 degrees, a creature exposed to the cold must succeed on a DC 10 Constitution saving throw at the end of each hour or gain one level of exhaustion.
Okay.
So
you have advantage on those exhaustion checks. That's cool.
Advantage on a DC 10 con save.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So.
Big deal.
So yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns before we...
Does it add to armor class at all?
No.
It's clothing. It's adventuring gear, not armor. Got it.
Yes. The Bellarmine used his knowledge of all things to successfully skin such a thing that it fit all 4 of you with enough, and you had plenty of cloak to work with. Turns out 2 Yetis is...
Well, I'm small.
That too. So yeah, what's the plan, gents?
Well, I believe we're gonna rest until we are refreshed. It sounds like that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, mechanically.
Okay. Well,
you can all get all your spells back, all your hit points back, all your charges back, all your, portents if you have them.
We're here. We're relatively safe compared to when we first started, and we are no longer susceptible to the frigid cold conditions outdoors.
So now we need to decide whether we move further north or head back the way we came.
Well, I believe, since we're here, and we're relatively safe, and free to move about the country, as it were, it may behoove us to seek out the mana mine for reasons we arrived to begin with.
I agree with the mission.
If we can stock ourselves with a good supply of mana crystals and potentially other rarities, and safely return them back to the town, we could greatly bolster not only their defenses and resources, but potentially I could whip up some very effective tools with which we could either siege or negotiate, leverage. I mean, there's a number of advantages to having access to the mana crystals.
Very well. Now, what is our plan when we come across further attacks from Yetis? Shall we keep moving past or engage?
As far as I can tell, the musk of the natural oils embedded in the furs from the coats that we're wearing should help mask ourselves from detection by them. So as long as we are moving quietly, and also the fur should muffle the noises of any of our metal armors, we should be able to travel relatively stealthily.
I like it.
I would certainly suggest avoiding detection.
I'm agree with that. We're in...
Now, let's see if we can figure out, relative to where we're going, where we are. And Babbage pulls out the map of the Crescent Isle, which, Mike, I would recommend you adding that as an actual map in-game, so that you can write on it and we can draw lines and propose routes and stuff.
Oh.
Rather than just as a handout.
I can... Alright, stand by.
Just, I think it would be helpful.
Where? Oh, alright.
I mean, to think how long it took us the last couple sessions to be like, no, the island is shaped like this, and if we could just draw on it, we could...
Yeah, fair. Give me 2 minutes. Where's... Oh, do I have it in my maps? Where did I put that thing? There it is.
If memory serves, these larger peaks are higher towards the south of the island on which we find ourselves. I would assume as we move north and reduce in elevation, we may find less harsh weather conditions. Assuming these strange floating islands are subject to any of the normal weather patterns that we're familiar with on the surface of Acanus.
You would prefer to walk where you can see the stars. It's been too long.
What? Oh, dang it. Oh, that's not good. Alright, can you all see the map?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, perfect. Just what I was looking for.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm assuming, since we departed from about here and made our way this way, I know we got blown off course some amount of direction in one way or the other, and we probably touched down, I'm guessing, in this general vicinity. I don't know if any of y'all could narrow that down a bit. Does anybody have any better insight to narrow down where we may have landed?
It's hard to tell because it's freezing cold and all we've seen is blizzards. Maybe a little farther north.
You think we landed further north?
Yeah.
Like
maybe about here.
I'm reluctant to agree, but anything's possible. It's hard to see.
I don't think we would have crossed those mountains.
There's one way to find out if we go out and look north. If the elevation increases, then we know we've got more to go. If it decreases, then we're on the other side of the ridges.
But is the blizzard still going on?
Only one way to find out.
Yes. You have that sort of like ceiling hole that has like the wind you can hear going pretty much non-stop. That's sort of just been this constant like white noise background going on. It's quieter than it is outside, so you can actually hear yourself think, but like that has not stopped. That has not relented at all.
Well, regardless,
and you have an owl that can
where
also
we are.
How confident does Babbage feel about the area that he's suggesting?
Roll a nature check for me.
I will do this.
That, I mean, you know you landed like right at the edge. Like you all like landed initially right at the edge, and you haven't gone that far in. I mean,
Gotcha.
you've only the maps that you've moved across there hasn't been like sometimes like it's relative like the theater of the mind where like you jump from map to map and there's distance between those. You've been going like from one map to one map to one map, so you don't even think you're that far from the edge.
Gotcha. So I think this is probably more accurate.
Regardless of where we landed, I would say that we just need to continue moving north. We can maybe shoot the gap between these mountains here. Seems probably the best bet. And unless we got blown off course by many, many miles to the west, I think that we'll intersect with the road at some point in this.
I think I agree. It's probably best to either find a cave system or path through the peaks rather than trying to go around and then up this way.
I'd be hesitant to stay in caves. We don't know if they terminate or have bigger, uglier baddies in them.
Fair. I agree with your assessment. So let us depart the cave, wend our way north on the most stable and comfortable footing we can find, quietly and without noise, and redundantly.
Indubitably.
Are we all in agreement?
Did you say indubitably in character or as Zach?
In character.
Indubitably.
All right, so everybody's moving out. I take it.
I was thinking of Michael from The Office when you said that. That's why.
Yeah, I believe that's the plan.
We saddle up.
Is that a visibility vision?
Yeah. I mean, you come out and hold on. Where's my?
You have these storming caves and head north.
Ooh, I can hear the wind.
Yeah. So like you
Okay.
step out. So like it's daylight now.
Robert's scaling the cliff face.
Yes, he is. So you can like you come out and it's clearly daylight now because you kind of went to sleep at like 3 in the morning. So it's like mid-morning by now. So like it's not darkness and whiteout, but it is still it's light, but it's still like whiteout conditions. Like the wind is blasting. It's like the Yeti coats like make the cold when you're outside of the heat slightly more bearable. Like you can just tolerate it, but it's still bitterly cold out in this place. Like you can feel yourself getting.
We're not just gonna walk for days. Although, the more we move, the less affected we should be by the cold because of our own body heat generating. Cross-country ski with a single layer.
All right,
22 degrees below zero.
Babbage, you clearly have one of the heat engines. Does somebody else have another one?
Currently, there are no heat engines. They're just affect engines on my person. I reclaimed them for use elsewhere. I mean, I can recreate them.
Oh, not bad. All right then. Well,
as it stands, there are no heat engines.
Okay, fair enough.
Babbage assumed that the coats would render them unnecessary for short bursts of travel. If needed, I can redistribute them, but for now, I think it's best if we try and travel north, stick to whatever shelter we can on the path, if there's cliffs to follow or valleys to walk within, and should we find it to be too harsh or inhospitable, we can find a safe haven and I can distribute warmth while we recuperate. It may be slow going, but we're going quietly anyway.
Okay, so where to?
I suggest we exit the cave mouth and turn right.
Bellarmine scales the cliffside and leaves the and wanders into the whiteout. Oh, this is fun. You've successfully. Where's Bellarmine? Yeah.
Where's my friends? I turn around and only see Kanadin. Oh God, what happened? Are we all together?
Oh, good lord.
I move back towards the cave.
Is this visibility?
You. Oh goodness, you. Come this way. Where's Bellarmine?
Oh,
there he is.
I thought he was with you. Mike, is this fog of war based on the snow or light source?
No, it's based on the snow. Like it is constant. Like just
gentlemen,
drifts and like.
We're going this way.
Oh, this is great.
Come on,
from
Robert.
DM's perspective.
You said turn right, so I'm turning right.
Yeah, turn right, but as you exit the cave, turning right would be left as we're looking at the map.
Oh, this is fun for me. Okay.
Well, come on this way, everybody. Stick together. If you can't see me, I can't see you.
I like the other way, but.
All right, stand by. A moment.
Stand by. Standing by, Red Leader.
Hold on a second. Who's come in?
Where are we? Oh, there we are.
All the way in the bottom right.
Is this September 12th?
Sorry, I'm keeping my daughter awake.
Like the current date, you mean?
Close the door.
Yes, it's September 12th.
It is the 13th.
Yeah.
13th. Oh, it's no Monster Day.
I'm
Yeah.
curious
That's
thing
oddly-
to just declare.
That's oddly clever, Dad. I appreciate it.
Random. All right, let's see if that holds out. All right.
What is this kind of terrain? Are these just like
Rocks.
bare
outcropping.
rock or vertical, or is there verticality to it?
No, that's just bare rock.
Got it.
You do seem to be moving slightly up in elevation as you move to the northwest on the map.
Alright, so it's not so like channel cut into the stone, it's more open terrain.
I mean, you see what you see.
Right, and I'm looking at a visual representation of a map. I'm asking you for more explicit.
I mean, I think it's. Oops, No, like the stuff that you're looking at right now. I mean, the stuff you're looking at right now is more just like outcroppings. It's not vertical.
Got it.
There we go.
Well, that wind sure is whipping. Stick together, friends.
You is circling about, of course, as always, happy to be out of the cave. Or who? Said you.
Well, what's blocking my vision here? The rock?
Yeah, no, there is a bit of a mountain. Let's see, what are you looking at? You see.
So there is verticality.
There is a little bit of verticality there, but it's not much. You just can't. It's just like it's not like it like goes straight up and the whiteout disappears. Like you can see the top of it.
All right.
You can get around it a little bit, yeah. Actually, if you could all make perception checks for me.
Oop, wrong one. Oop, wrong one again. Sorry.
The wrong
7.
key. 7. All right. 7 from Zach's, or 17 from Zach. 7 from Jim.
Ah, where's you? Oh goodness. Stay with us, you.
Watching. So make it right around here.
Oh yeah. Make a 9. And a 10. All right. Canadin. You think you might have heard a howl on the wind, but you're not certain.
Hold.
Hold him out.
I believe I heard a howl on the wind. There's maybe something ahead, so let's take it cautiously from here.
Are you suggesting that the wind is making a howling noise, or are you suggesting something is howling and the wind is carrying that howl to us? Are we talking wolves?
The latter of what he just explained. You think a
No,
noise got carried?
I don't think I was
you.
asking the DM.
Which way is the wind blowing from?
It's all over the place actually. Like it's not consistent at all. Like it seems to be coming like from the west for about a couple seconds, and then just when you think it's like settled in one direction, it whips around to the other, and then it spins around. That's part of the reason the whiteout is so bad, is because the snow and the drift is just basically whipping around you. And like sometimes it seems to actually make like almost like a corkscrew kind of tunnel, but then it stops and like whips you straight in the face, and then comes a corkscrew in another direction. It's extremely chaotic. And Canadin, you have no idea which way like that howl, like a wolf howl noise, it may be coming from.
Sure, wolf howl, but I don't know which way. So perhaps we keep moving, but be prepared for the worst.
Oh, and if you could all make stealth checks for me. We have a 17.
Do a number 2.
What time of day is it?
Mid-morning. And Babbage.
Is it stealth?
Yes. Because he was busy drawing a. Oh, very nice. Well done for him.
I had to do it. I had to do it in a single keystroke because if I let go, it would be in the blackness, and I would be able to see what I drew. So it was all one. It was all one drag of the pen.
Fantastic. All right. So.
Well, Canadin should lead because he's the stealthiest.
I mean, you have a hard time knowing how stealthy you are with just the amount of snow and wind, and I mean, like you can't even. It's almost hard to see your own tracks because the wind seems to whip them up that fast. So it's hard to keep track of where you're going. So, all right. So yeah, you do have a small bit of an outcropping that seems to go up here, but it doesn't go very high. But I mean, you can just see like the edge of your vision there.
I'm staying behind Canadin.
Very good.
I'm moving ahead, slow.
What's that pink line?
Jim drew a thing.
I drew a wolf going out. Woo!
Stay close.
We've lost you. We've lost Kaden. Oh God. Party.
I'm sorry. I'm reading up on spells. Assume I'm with the party.
Fair enough. I can drag you along. That's fine.
Because at this point, I can't see anything. Who's having a hard time seeing anything? So I'm just following Canada no matter what.
Fair enough.
Well, wait. Hang on, gentlemen.
Here.
I found a thing.
Oh, that's just, you found like a mountain that seems to be going up. It's really not all that fascinating.
But it's nice shelter from the wind.
I mean, when it goes one direction, but then it swoops another direction, and it's not shelter anymore.
Alright, never mind. False alarm. It's just some dynamic lighting excitement.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, like, you could, hold on, like, you can see through here. Like, it's just, you can see over it, basically. It's like a small hill.
Uh-oh, where's Paladin?
I don't know, he, like, flew off the map for some reason. I don't know why he threw him over the... Anyway.
He's in a wind vortex.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, who is not liking this at all?
I mean, he doesn't have many choice. See what I say?
Fair.
No, I comfort Boo to the best of my ability, which is strange because I've never seen this behavior from him before, being as he is a magical construct more than a natural creature of the woodland realms.
Fair.
It's more that he's frustrated that he's lacking in utility.
Fair.
Bottom left.
Why is that red?
I lost it. Hang on. Oh, there we go.
I thought apparently the radiuses don't transfer between tokens, which is annoying, but alright. Give me a second.
Scrolled on the side.
Alright, so you do get a bit of a... You are still moving... actually, the altitude seems almost to have leveled out here, but you're dealing with a lot of... I mean, the altitude itself doesn't seem to be going up slowly, but you are dealing with a lot of... No, I take that back. You're still going up. Where's...
There he is.
Wind. I say we continue heading north. Is this?
That's weird.
I see.
Kata, make another perception check for me.
Roger, Dodge. Coming up.
Alright, give me a second. Are you looking at the screen?
I am. What's going on?
Alright, you think you hear another, howl on the wind again.
Is that howl again, Jen?
Where's my... There you are.
Is it louder than last time?
Hard to say.
Man, sometimes, Kanan, when you talk, you sound like the omnipotent overlord of this entire universe.
I know, weird. Oh, whoops, nope, I can't do that. I forgot. I need to be like this. Let's see.
Oh,
There's the howl again.
Stream, Mike.
We need to be on the lookout for.
All the cameras disappeared for a second.
They should be fixed now, yeah? Yeah, I realized I did something bad and I had to fix it. Okay, wait, is this... No, okay, good. Sorry, getting distracted managing things. Okay. Sorry, Kate, I didn't keep going.
Yeah, alright. continue, but I'm still hearing this this howl, so we need to keep moving, but cautiously. Be prepared for any sort of attack at any point. Oh,
I smack Woo, and I say, you need to get out there and do what you do best.
Hold here, hold here. You, send who forward.
Should we prepare for some sort of a altercation?
I think that's what we're trying to figure out.
Something ahead. Please freeze. Who? Check it out.
Right. Mike, do I see this?
Yes.
So this is real time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Who communicates what I'm seeing right now to me? That there's a large pack stalker, but up here in the mountains. So the beast that runs with many others of its kind, usually in the forest, but much larger with a much thicker fur coat, is up ahead. The word is wolf.
Lord Wolf.
Just one? That seems weird.
Who only sees one? Probably more.
Well, can we avoid them? I'm not a wolf.
Probably not. The way the wolf hunts is that we see one and don't see the other 5 that have laid a trap for us, which we're probably standing in.
I mean, I have to commend your recent grasp of the common tongue. You've really
spent enough time around Babbage Charles, and you've
really come a long way in the last week.
Well, this is the one area that you knows anything. So this is flying islands, not so much, but forest creatures, even if they're out of their element, so to speak.
So we need to think if we're ready to take on these wolves, or if we should continue to try to sneak past.
Let's be honest.
I say to my friends, I may have a way to speak. You may have a way to speak with these wolves, but you will need 10 minutes to prepare the spell. So we either stand here while I prepare, or forego that and probably fight sooner than later.
I think any avoidance of combat we can muster is probably worth pursuing.
Then keep me safe, and I begin to ritually cast to speak with animals.
Yeah, no spell slot consumption. Hanging out for 10 minutes, hoping we don't get ambushed.
So, what are the rest of you doing during this 10 minutes?
I will hold here with my spear kind of set.
I'm hiding underneath Yu's fur Yeti coat.
I'm having so while this is happening, who knows what I'm doing.
Okay.
And he's going to shadow the wolf, and if it ever starts to get a little too close, just kind of do a little flyby.
Oh, well, he lost track of the wolf as the wolf went north, and it hasn't found it again.
Okay, well, since I'm at the edge of the map.
No, that's fair. Alright, so who's there? Alright, so, okay, before we go into further what who's doing, just leave who there for a minute. Bellarmine, are you doing anything in this 10-minute time period?
Yes, I have this, on my course sheet, I have this, channel divinity, so I'm channeling Abra.
Okay. To do what exactly?
For protection. For party protection.
Is that a thing?
I mean, the channel divinity is an ability that refers to other things you can do. One of them is turn undead. The other thing for you, I think, the other one is like call upon knowledge to just know something that you may not know otherwise.
Yeah, as usual, abilities do what they say. So when you look at channel divinity, knowledge of the ages, for example, it's an action. You use channel divinity to tap into your well of knowledge, and for 10 minutes you have proficiency with a chosen skill or tool. That's like a thing that you can do once or twice a day. Channel divinity, read thoughts, same thing. You use your channel divinity to read thoughts, and whatever it says in that block is what you can do. You can't just like I'm going to channel divinity to do whatever I feel like. Like, there's specific mechanics to each of the channel divinities.
But doesn't each of the divinities have a different power? No.
Well,
So
you as a knowledge cleric have
Yeah.
chosen that as your basically like library.
As
ability.
a knowledge cleric, you have 3 ways you can use your channel divinity, which is a resource, and they are turning the undead, knowledge of the ages, or read thoughts.
Right. Well, I'm not reading thoughts. I want to know the knowledge of the ages of the best.
So knowledge of the ages specifically states proficiency with a skill or tool. So if you're trying to use a tool or perform a skill, you would have proficiency with it. That's what knowledge of the ages does.
But okay, but that doesn't give you a proficiency with a spell, perhaps.
No.
No.
Is it? All right. Well, there's not much I can do with that. Then.
I appreciate the impetus, but mechanically, there's nothing mechanically that results from what you're trying to accomplish.
Remember when mountaineering was its own skill? That would have been nice.
I'll just have to rely on the retainers.
Someday. You have a hard time getting here.
All right, Kanan. All right, so are you doing anything else, Bellarmine?
No, that's it.
Okay.
So yeah, my spear is set, and I will attack if anything hostile comes within melee range.
Okay. And Babbage, you said you're hiding. Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally in use space under his fur coat.
I guess my question is there anything we can prepare ahead of time?
I mean, you can, like Zach just said, you can have a triggered action. So you can say, in the event that something occurs, I want to do X, and that way you get the jump on the thing instead of being surprised, or something like that. So
in the event something appears, I want to cast Spirit Guardians.
See, now that is an interesting choice, because I think that is something you could do ahead of time. Let me read the spell real quick here. Yeah, that lasts for 10 minutes. So you could cast Spirit Guardians now, and then for a period of 10 minutes, you have this 15-foot radius around you that's protected by your Guardians.
That's assuming that anything happens, and if nothing happens, then you waste a spell slot. So.
Also true.
What's the...
it's done.
Well, he done did it.
Okay.
15-foot radius on himself.
We're gonna make this. Okay. Give me a minute. What just happened? 52. There we go. Oh, it automatically. Okay.
Oops. Mistake.
Okay.
Ignore that.
Would I technically be in the radius of that spell?
Hold on. Bellarmine, hold still for a second. Wait, what's happening here? Oh,
I said ignore that. Ignore that.
All right.
That was a mistake.
Do any of you have non-magical weapons? Technically, your
Yeah, I have darts.
You have what?
I have darts, non-magical darts.
And then,
I possess a non-magical weapon.
I have a quarterstaff.
okay, your core step. All right, so Bellarmine casts Spirit
What about
Guardians.
guiding bolt? Would that?
I mean physical weapons, not spells you would cast. You have a physical weapon that's non-magical.
Point of order. I
Yes.
do still have that mana crystal on me.
I know.
Okay.
What about the light crossbow?
No, a light crossbow would count. Martial weapons. Okay, so your quarterstaff, while you're casting this spell ritually, starts to crackle.
Simple.
I don't notice it's on my back because I never ever attack.
And your darts.
My dagger, I suppose.
Yeah, anybody's daggers or darts or.
A hand crossbow.
Not the hand crossbow, since it's not. That's a. Well, I guess that's a martial weapon. No, it's not a ranged weapon. So it's melee weapons. So like all of your non-magic weapons appear to be like glowing unusually after Bellarmine cast his Spirit Guardian spell. Alright, so with that, so
Are the enchantments that we added to items making them magical?
yes.
Okay.
So the Warhammer.
Technically, the gap closer is not magical.
So yeah, it would be glowing.
Construct.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would call that a weapon, but that's fine. Okay, so
Well, it has an attack roll.
yeah, fair. You are 6 minutes into your 10-minute ritual when who sees what he sees?
What do you see, boy?
I mean, this is as you're casting your ritual, this image gets produced into your head.
Can I speak while I'm ritually casting?
You can interrupt a ritual. Meanwhile, Kanadin, your spear is starting to go off.
All right,
Is
I'm
the
going
spell
to
verbal?
cast.
Hang on, is the spell verbal?
Incoming.
Uh,
If the spell has
30
no verbal
feet.
component,
30 feet.
it
just-
is verbal. I'm going to cast Speak with Animals. Then I'm going to interrupt the ritual and actually cast the spell.
Repeat.
Alright.
30 feet to enemy.
Where are you?
30 feet to contact.
Okay, what's the link the spell for me?
So, Mike,
Yes.
does he have floaty spiritual entities flying around him, or did we?
Bellarmine?
instead-
It's been 6 minutes. And
But
he's got
so the spell cast successfully, and also that weird.
Oh,
thing happened.
yes. The spell cast
Got it.
successfully and something weird happened. Oh, I didn't scroll down, sorry. Comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts the duration of the knowledge of the awareness of many beasts and of their intelligence, but of the beast duration of your own efficiency, whatever they can perceive. Okay. Alright, so you can now speak with animals.
Say out loud, "Halt! Who goes there? You intrude on our territory." In a way that the wolves will understand me. That's my intent. Did they reply?
Verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. Okay. From your, I'm going to just say right on the map, you hear something to the effect of, "Your territory. You're a delicious meal is what you are."
You are mistaken if you think that we four are a meal. We are the Yeti Slayers, and we have left you great heaps of meat now freezing in a nearby cave. You can choose right now the fight of your lives and your packs, or as much food as you can eat all winter.
Roll a persuasion check,
That's
you.
phenomenal, you. Dude, 10
Really
points
good.
to Gryffindor over here.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check there, big guy.
I'm not good at these. Wait, it's now an 18 because of portent.
Yes, I was gonna do the same.
Wait, that's only for attack rolls, isn't
Oh,
it?
Portent is only attack rolls, but Wheel and Woe he can help with. Yeah, he's right. Portent is only for attacks. We've done this before.
Yes. It's not a manipulate any roll in the game power.
It's not luck. It's not bestowed
Well,
luck.
If we can kill 2 Yeti, I'm sure we can handle a pack of wolves, so I say bring it on.
I don't want to kill a bunch of wolves, but I will if I have to.
I mean,
And
that was...
Oh, okay. And with that, Yu pulls off his coat and holds it aloft. I don't know if that influences the roll, maybe gives it an advantage? Because that was a pretty compelling speech.
Is anybody helping with it? Is it? Well, actually, none of you understand what he's doing.
I can't understand.
Yeah, you're
I
hearing Babbage just howl.
I pull,
Or not
I
Babbage,
pull,
you, sorry.
Yeah.
so I pull off the Yeti coat, and then I let them see me, so they know exactly, and then I throw the coat in the direction of the nearest wolf. Because they're going to be familiar with the Yeti.
Wait, which one? Alright, so which direction are you throwing it?
You must be freezing.
For a little bit.
Which way?
I mean, don't forget, this whole time, Okay, so they're there, and I'm standing about where I'm standing. I can see this wolf, so I'm gonna throw the Yeti coat here.
All right. So the wolf, you see the wolf. I mean, it's at the edge. All right. So you throw it into the wind, is what you do. You're throwing it into the white.
Not like this, and if
oh, but
the
you
wind
can,
is howling.
All right, but who?
Hold on, paint the scene for me. If I'm a druid, if I feel the wind blowing, I'm not gonna be like, here, take my coat. In fact, I'm probably more likely to walk.
I'll give you that. Yeah. So you successfully throw the Yeti coat in the direction of the dire wolf. There is a rather precarious-looking angry spirit from Bellarmine's spell swooping around right there, but the dire wolf proceeds to sniff at your Yeti coat, bites at it, takes off with it. And at this point, you're hearing it's hard to hear over the wind, but you're basically hearing what amounts to like a argument, being like the giant thing speaks true. This is a true Yeti coat. We're still hungry. Nothing beats fresh meat. They have Yetis. They must be, and they're surviving.
So do I hear all this?
It's something that.
Is this what I hear?
No, you're here. Yeah, I mean, you're speaking with animals, so you're hearing what is essentially like barking and yipping and howling. The rest of you are hearing a bunch of yipping and howling. But yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, like the rest of you think the wolves are getting excited.
As I hear that, I say, "We demand an audience with your pack leader to settle this in the ways of the old primal nature forces. There will be an audience and there will be a discussion, and I will provide for your pack for the winter ahead, or we will fight to the last pup." You was far more eloquent speaking in wolf tongue.
I'm sure. No, I'll grab that.
I'm totally for it. I'm here for it.
All right. So where's? So this one comes forward, and it tries. So here's this. So it steps here.
Uh-oh.
And then a spiritual guardian goes and thwacks it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got a text message that I was not expecting. Would I know that he cast spiritual guardians right there?
I mean, you'd see his spiritual guardians whipping around him the whole time, yeah.
So I'm aware of that spell. So if I see that thing get up close and they're not all converging, can you roll it back 5 seconds so I can be like, halt, step no further. There are powerful magics guarding this group, including with the one whom you now speak to. You step forward and it will hurt like nothing you have felt. So we will have an audience.
So these are dire wolves, right? Like I should make this very clear that like these things are
big.
Large. Like
but not so large.
You're not super intimidated, but like I don't know if actually Babbage, you probably haven't physically put eyes on any of these things yet.
I've only seen them in the edge of the mist so far.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm waiting for my theatrical reaction.
So these are like big like giant mastiff style, like larger wolves, right?
I
and this wolf is, I mean, it's talking to you, but it's talking to you through bared teeth, just growling.
And that's basically what I'm doing back.
Okay, fair.
Right? That's how I'm speaking with animals. It's not like hey old boy, sit down on the snow, we'll have a chat.
You have food? You say you can give us food for safe passage?
I assume it's like Gmork, right?
I don't know.
Yes. My companions and I killed 2 Yetis, quick out of character, how long ago? It's been, a week?
Last night?
Last night?
But yeah, like, you did it, like,
long rest ago.
Yeah, you did it at 3 in the morning, and then it was, like, an hour since maybe it's, like, half an hour since you left the cave? Maybe an hour?
So it's been 6 hours since it's been sitting in that cave that's still pretty cold.
I'm sure it's preserved. Like,
yeah.
Meat in an ice cave for 8 hours should be fine.
Yeah, refrigeration, essentially. Natural refrigeration, natural freezing.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say then.
Well, you can tell them there's proof that we killed 2 of them because we have 4 coats.
Listen here.
They know the code.
If you follow our scent trail back to the cave from which it came, you will find the bodies of 2 slain Yetis, still fresh, not frozen, ready to consume.
And skinned.
And all that this one asks is that you bring back the trophy that was won by Bloodsport in honor.
Bring back the trophy. I don't understand.
Yeah, bring back the coat.
Oh.
It's a trophy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I'm not trying to freeze out here after I baby talk us through the direwolf pack.
Otherwise, he'll have to make wolf coats.
So yeah,
yes.
I'm leaving here with a fur coat. It's up to you who's.
All right, make another persuasion check for me.
Oh boy.
Oh, shoo-ooey.
Slightly better. No one has
This
anything
is not
to
what
help
you
him
should
with
be.
this? Nobody has guidance?
I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, none of you have any idea what he's doing. That's
I
fair.
would argue that this is not a persuasion check. This is more of a nature check at this point. So I'm tapping into the very little which they understand. This is not an eloquent, prosaic discussion based on charisma. This is law of the jungle, baby.
I'll tell you what.
The only reason I would disagree is it says you might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor at the DM's discretion.
I will
dragging a negative one modifier.
You are using your significant intelligence to your advantage versus what is a wolf intelligence. So I will let you roll your persuasion at advantage.
So roll once more.
Yes, roll once more.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so at this point, the direwolf.
Wait a second. No, guidance doesn't help me too much anyway.
So the wolf at this point goes, "We know where the Yeti lives. Its territory is lethal to us. If what you say is true, we shall take its home for ours. But we keep your trophy as proof of its death to the rest of the clan."
Wouldn't the bones and meal be proof of its death?
And with that,
you know what? Trade a coat to not fight 1,000 wolves. I feel like is a fair trade.
With that, the wolf howls really loud, scatters off into the white. Canadin, your spear stops reacting, and who doesn't see any more wolves?
They've retreated.
In the Dragon Age Origins version of this campaign, we went with the peaceful option.
I need 3 minutes.
Okay. And then Bellarmine was put on autopilot.
You.
I'll be right back. I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
So
you have successfully avoided. And you.
I turn around and you see my eyes go from like the ward state back to normal. You had words. Yes, you had words.
You were shooting and hollering, and then they left.
You told them the truth, that we are the Yeti killers. And you also mentioned how their bodies would make for a much easier, better feast than ours, which are still alive and full of magic.
Oh.
Huh. Very well played. Very well played.
You hopes they won't bother us again, but you is cold now.
Well, I can probably help you with that.
I would just give him my coat, because I don't really need it.
Oh, there you go.
That's very true.
That's amazing.
He was
had an
wearing
extra
it
coat all
for
along.
style. And it hurts.
I literally said that before. I was just wearing it for style, so...
There you go.
Well, style and the scent masking, which has nothing to do with your ring of warmth.
It's true.
Well, if I was wearing, like, uncured Yeti skin, I'm sure I smell like it.
For
he's
a
an
period
elf,
of time,
so
I would agree.
He's an elf, so he smells like kale and patchouli, basically.
Hey, it's those kinds of prejudices that they're removing from D&D 1. All
Were you
elves
saying
don't
drow are no
experience
longer
it.
an evil?
So some elves enjoy slaughtering and eating animals? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah. No, seriously, like, I'm only half joking. Like, they're making a lot of those changes to the races in the game, so they don't have these stereotypes, and everyone can kind of be anybody.
So it's okay to be a carnivore when you were not already a carnivore, but if you're already a carnivore, it's bad. Bad, you should be ashamed of your life choices.
I think it's less judging the individual stereotypes and more just eliminating the thought process that because you're a certain race, you behave a certain way.
Pretty much, yeah. I think
Okay,
sums it up.
that I understand.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying specifically in regards to...
No. It's like a sweeping all of the stereotypes of the world that are tied to races. They're trying to eliminate.
Minimize, get rid of, yeah. So allow
There's no more evil drow, there's just drow that are angry
And then in
with their capital
Spelljammer, they
from the-
created a race of monkey people who were slaves. So who knows where their heads are at?
Yeah,
What?
that's not good. I didn't, alright, so... Okay,
Yeah,
I know
there's a
Bill and
race
mine-
of like flying monkey people whose backstory is that they were created for subservience.
Oh yeah, that's
Wow.
that's cool.
That's why
You can't even tie that into like, oh, they're going the whole Wizard
one
of the
step
Oz.
forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, it's like
Didn't know
what's
that was a
happening?
thing. Alright, so yeah. You explains that that's what happened. And now you're still standing in the cold.
Well, crisis averted. Let's continue. I'm really glad I didn't have to get eaten today.
I mean,
Keep on moving north.
the day's still young.
Canadian, thank you. It's much better.
My spell ran out.
Yes.
Yes. 10
It only
minutes.
lasts for so long.
Yeah, 10 minutes elapsed, and I'm afraid your spell is now gone. Okay, so,
So how cold is you?
Not anymore. Kanan gave me his fur coat that he doesn't need.
Yeah.
So now he can be smelled, but he's not cold.
yes. But I do need now, for everybody but Canadian to roll a Constitution saving throw at a DC 10 for me, because we've been outside for an hour now. At advantage.
A what?
Constitution saving throw at advantage.
Yes. DC 10.
Oh my
DC.
god.
Oh my goodness.
Man, that stinks.
I'm just gonna be cold. I'm not even gonna fight it with portent.
Portent wouldn't, I don't think
Portent doesn't do saving throws. Only attack rolls.
Only attack rolls.
The only thing you can do is wheel yourself.
Let's see. Where's... Alright,
So now we need to look up exhaustion.
you have the first level of exhaustion there. Which...
Unbelievable what I've been rolling so far.
You have disadvantage on all ability checks until you resolve your level of exhaustion.
How is it resolved?
A
Not being
long
rolled.
rest.
Oh.
Oh wow. Well, those are significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, exhaustion's a thing.
Exhaustion's no joke. So
In 6 levels of exhaustion, you die.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't we have this ring of warmth?
you have
One of us does.
well. So the ring that so Canadian has a physical ring that keeps him warm. The red rings were the engines that Babbage had created that were basically small little portable heat. Why is my brain farting on words? Anyway, like he was
Space
creating
heaters.
space heaters. Thank you, portable space heaters. But he turned them off, or he's not using them now. So the red rings are just carryovers from when I made these maps before when I
Why
thought
does
those would
it?
be on all the time.
Turn them on and warm these people up.
Does the warmth... Okay, so if I cast Produce Flame and I just hold it as if it were a light, does that... It would have to say that it gives me some kind of warmth, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to assume.
All right. So yeah, it's been.
Do I know that he's exhausted?
That's up to him to explain that to you. I mean, so yeah. So at this point, taking off the coat for a little while seems to have been enough. You feel the chill in your boat.
Yeah, you lost a lot of trapped body heat waving that coat around.
Yeah. So you are starting to like feel the cold sort of biting through your fur, because I mean, this is a cold that none of you have ever experienced before. Certainly never for this long.
Is there an animal that you can turn into that would resist the cold?
That's a really good idea. Are there any beasts with resistance to cold?
Like a Yeti?
Beasts are monstrosities.
Yeah, I know.
I actually have yet to use that to turn into a animal shape myself. I've always used it for starry form. And now I'm wondering, is this the time to use it that way, or have I always used starry form because of some RP element I haven't discovered yet?
I mean, you did just see a direwolf that lives here.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as a character, since I'm a Circle of the Stars druid, and at least since we've started playing, I've never used one of those charges to turn into an animal. I've always cast a spell for that.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's some kind of RP flavor that I had yet to discover, or I had all along and just hadn't put into words. Like, I don't like turning into animals. I'd rather call an animal to help me.
That is up to you.
That's why I always use stars.
Winterwolf isn't a beast. That's a shame.
A direwolf is.
Direwolf doesn't have resistances.
Those direwolves should have been pretty doggone cold.
Yeah, no, for the sake of the world you're in, and like the direwolf you just saw, I would argue that the direwolf, if you were going to turn into that direwolf, you would have cold resistance. I would just flavor it that way.
Alright. Well, there you go, Jeff.
If that's a choice he wants to make, that's entirely up to him.
There's your options.
There are lots of
But
ways to
anyway,
solve this.
Yeah, we have solutions once knowledge is shared. Well, anyway, I'm just moving on north, 'cause I feel fine.
Keep on moving then.
That is a crack in the ground.
Oh. Is the other side higher or lower?
About. No, it's level.
Level.
It's a crack. And when you look down, what do you see?
Darkness.
See what?
Darkness.
Oh boy.
So it's a crack in the ground, and it's like an entrapment, huh?
Yeah, it seems to go down pretty far, like farther than you can see.
It's a crevasse.
We do not want to fall in there.
Don't fall in a crevasse.
What does the owl see when he flies over the top of it?
So you describes the shape of the crack in the ice, which is as far as the eye can see in either direction, and anywhere from 5 to 10 feet across.
5 feet, you say? This seems to be the narrowest point, then.
So 5 feet.
Well,
Can we
5 to 15 feet across, depending on where.
Can we jump?
Well, we can make the jump.
Yeah, and that distance right there is like 4 feet.
Can the owl look down inside and see if there's anything going to jump out of there at us when we jump over?
I'll have the owl kind of hover, flap overhead, and then I'll use produce flame to kind of shoot a couple little mini fireballs down below to see if I can get a sense of
When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move 10 feet. So yeah, we can all run and jump like over 10 feet each.
Now, if that's only 4 feet across there, I'm going to argue at my height that I do not need to do anything but simply step. Unless it's not solid up to the edge, like it's deceptively narrow.
You've been trudging through like shin to knee deep snow in places where sometimes it's like solid rock and you're not actually like on heavy snow, but every once in a while you sort of sink down to your like shins or even up to your knee, which gets up to like poor Babbage's like waist sometimes.
I think it's safe to assume that the edges of this crevasse should not be trusted.
Is there a way to determine that?
Where does the trust begin?
Can we poke it with something long?
We can do whatever we like, Robert.
So I take out the warhammer and I reach across and I poke the narrow area.
You're touching a lot of soft snow.
And I poke harder.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep casting Thorn Whip to pull as much snow off the far edge as possible until we actually can see where the solid rock is or whatever is underlying this, so we can assess the jump.
Oh, can't you like shape snow and stuff? Can we make an ice bridge?
I can certainly make water.
Well, I think we all have to make water occasionally.
Yeah, well, it's a little different than that.
At that, Paladin just walks up to the edge and just looks like he's trying to go to the bathroom over the edge for some reason.
So this is the spell, and I thought about it, but I'm wondering if it I'm wondering if it applies, because it's saying you freeze the water, but the snow's already frozen. So does that mean it's actually not possible to go from snow to ice? We would need liquid water of some kind.
The call on that last time. I think the call on that was that.
And also, I can make a cube that's up to 5 feet across, right? But it looks like I probably would need not just a single one, I'd need 2 of them.
I'm gonna argue you need like I'm gonna argue you need water, and you can't not already frozen snow.
That's fair. All right, I'm just thinking. Well, let's just let's brush away the soft snow and see where the solid edges are.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm using Thorn Whip and Produce Flame to carve away at the snow right in front of us until...
I will assist with Mage Hand on the opposing shelf.
Far edge.
So it turns out that like all of the soft snow there that you've cleared away, basically I've drawn a black line where like the crevasse edge turns out it actually is. Hold on.
I don't see that. Are you on the right layer?
No.
Ah, okay.
So how far away is that from where we are?
Yeah,
So it's more like
6-7 feet.
7.
Yeah.
7 feet.
Still jumpable.
Although this little, I mean, you're up against like a 10-foot wall there, so it's like a 2-foot ledge you're jumping onto basically.
Ooh, that's not pleasant.
Well, there's more space.
I think
more
the
space
jump is too
here.
risky in this area.
Dang it. There we go. Yep.
Space to land there, and looks like space to land here.
So what's the distance from there over? From there.
That's 7.6 feet.
We should be able to make that.
Yeah, we can.
I'd
If
say
we
we take
get,
this western path over here.
mechanically speaking, if we run at least 10 feet before jumping, we can all jump a distance equal to our strength scores, which I assume all of us are over 10.
Are you all over 10?
That is a bold assumption.
What
Oh
color?
yeah, no, I am.
Strength
Oh,
sword.
I'm thinking of that again. No, yeah.
Say that again, Dad?
I'm trying to figure out what the strength score is. How do we know that?
Your strength is 14.
Equal to strength score, not half of it, right?
Yes. And what's your strength for you? 8?
I think
No,
I'm gonna
12.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
You're just running and jumping?
Yep.
Where exactly are you trying to land?
Well, it's hard to tell because I can't see right now.
So you're trying to go for this direction over here, this direction over here. You're just trying to jump straight
Yeah,
up the cliff.
more or less. Where that little circle is.
There's one here and there's one here. Right or left?
Which is the shortest distance?
They're about the same.
All right. So I'm going to run and jump to here.
Bellarmine gets into the snow, tries to sort of trudge. Doesn't get as much of a run as he would have liked because of the snow being what it is. And I need you to make an athletics check for me.
Hang on. What is that?
So, despite the fact that you kind of lose a footing just as you launch yourself, you have enough momentum that you manage to plot the landing and you're fine.
Well, that was bold.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Let's see if it pans out. Well, it looks like it did.
Looks like it did.
Alright,
So,
now, Bellarmine, I'm going to hand you a rope so when you leap over the chasm... Oh, wait, you're... Okay, bye.
You can always throw me a rope.
well, since you're over there, you may as well clear us a landing path as we clear some snow away on this side.
I clear out the landing pad as much as I possibly can.
Very good.
And I move out of the way.
Snow here. I kind of stomp snow into like a
path
runway.
Okay.
Yeah. And clear as much as I can just to make it a nice, solid, safe runway to run, and then do the same, run and jump.
And I'm going to just move enough so I can grab somebody's hand.
Got it.
Fair.
Canaan leaps. And very, skillfully just lands, no problem. Having, padded down snow so you have, a solid good 10 feet of running, you're able to make the jump, no problem.
Cool.
I jump.
Are you casting the spell?
Boing.
Wait, did you use the spell?
Yeah.
So, hold on, did you run first?
I can standing long jump half my total distance, but my jump distance is tripled. So it's 13 times 3 is 39. Half of that is still, 20.
10. Yeah, so boing! Alright, so Babbage just...
Yeah.
Babbage does the...
I just gummy beared it.
Yeah. He literally, concocts a small little potion, drinks it, and just goes, and, bounces off his butt and comes across. It just moves, just seems to vault across the cavern.
I ain't playing no games.
The gummy bears juice.
I got little legs.
Alright, I
He
too
tinkers
will...
himself some gummy bear juice and makes it across.
I will muster my strength, and you said it's what, athletics?
So Bellarmine just sort of trudged through the snow to jump, but after Canaan literally made a little runway, he was able to without any loss of footing was able to jump no problem. So it looks like it should be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do it
Canaan made it
easy.
look easy.
I made it look real easy.
Well,
Tell me what to roll.
don't land on the gnome.
Alright, so I'm getting a
I
running
just jump
start,
up here.
and then I'm rolling what?
You get a running start, you jump, and you roll nothing because you land just fine.
For the next minute, all of my movement is gummy berry hopping.
So the rest of you, the other thing is that Canaan is also absolutely not bothered by the cold or the wind at all, so, he's just, comfortable in this despite the annoying wind. And yeah, no, now all of you are thrown off by the fact that there's a gummy bear bouncing all over the place. Okay. So at this
Yes,
point,
hypoxia.
all right. So at this point, we are going to theater the mind this a little bit because you're all tending to sort of wander northwest, northeast, north. You're sort of moving in a northerly direction. My question to you all is: how do you know that you're going in a northerly direction?
It's the opposite direction from whence we came.
Okay.
Also,
we would also be able to detect slope, and if we are on the other side of the peak of the mountain, then we would know if we're traveling back uphill over time.
And I have a piece of cork and a needle and a little dish, and I'm usually figuring out where the north is.
Okay. Somebody has a compass. Got it. All right. I just want to make sure.
If at any point,
Dad, you have a compass?
If at any point it's not totally cloudy and anywhere near the evening, then I'm looking up and I can see the position of the stars, and I would know exactly.
I mean, the whiteout is in all directions. What I'm trying to understand is how you're navigating through the whiteout.
Right? Are you saying that it's been a constant whiteout?
Yes, it has been a constant.
No, I understand that. I just didn't know if there's, even in sometimes in storms, there's a moment or two where there's a break in the clouds and then it's swallowed. You're saying this is
right. So you've been walking through this and dealing with this enough. Actually, yeah, make a nature check for me.
Ooh.
You.
I'll help him out.
Wait, do I get to roll it again since he said he'll help me out?
Yes, you do. Okay.
Thank you, Babbage.
The two of you, like, sort of, the two of you sort of at the same moment sort of come to the conclusion, like, you have seen, you're right. Normally storms, there would be breaks. There would be some sort of, like, ebb and flow of the storm itself, or, like, you think something would have broken if it was just a natural storm. This has never let up. At all.
Yeah, that's something I would notice.
Yeah, it is just like the wind has been non-stop and also extraordinarily erratic, which is not natural. And the fact that you haven't seen a single break in the storm, you realize like this is weird. Like this isn't how nature's supposed to work.
What about knowing that we have generally continued on downhill? If we go back to that map, right, and we see what we would assume to be the north face of the mountains, then it wouldn't matter if we don't see the sky as long as we just keep going, right? Or is it more like there's one mountain drawn, but it could be several rows of peaks and we don't know?
I think "we don't know" is the key phrase there. We had
we've been generally going in the right direction.
We had an old, outdated, poorly drawn map of the world when it was still in the water. No one's ever been there, and we just kind of flew. We're probably just guessing.
But we've been generally going in the right direction as far as I can tell.
What if...
I mean, if we keep where we came from behind us, then we're always going the right way.
Except you don't know... My point is that, like, in a whiteout, you're going to have a hard time keeping track of where's behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were to cast polymorph
from the wine bottle, I've got a pin from one of my vestments, and I've got this little dish that I can keep in my pocket so it stays liquid water, and I can check that out periodically.
The knowledge cleric wins again. All right.
Knowledge of the ages.
I'll allow it. All right. So, Bellarmine has been successfully keeping you all actually moving in a northerly direction despite whiteout conditions basically throwing off any all sense of direction. Fair. Just as long as there is a solution and a thought to it. Okay, so, at this point...
I have to say something that may ruin this whole thing.
Go ahead.
That's assuming that magnetic north still works right in this weird place.
Oh man, I was just typing Mike a private whisper with that same sentiment.
As far as you can tell, Bellarmine, magnetic north does seem to be moving you in a consistent direction.
Okay. I have to say that.
Let's put it that way. Do you know it's north? You're assuming it is? Yeah. It's a consistent direction.
We know where we started. We can continue to go where the needle's pointing. So.
Yes.
Okay. What about this then? Can I tell who to keep flying up until eventually he gets above the storm, because he would then be able to see the sky and fly back and say, "Yes, I saw the great. I saw the points of light, or I saw the great owl in the sky."
Yeah, you can tell who that. Sure.
Okay, then I'm going to send him off. Well, I didn't know if there's a limit to like how far he can fly or whatever, and I don't know the extent of this storm.
Didn't we send him miles across the crevasse earlier?
On a one-way trip, yeah.
But clearly we can at least send him that way.
Yeah, you just give him. What command are you giving your owl?
Fly up until you see the stars. Because would we know what time of day it is right now?
You know it's daylight. Yeah.
Oh, well then...
It's a brighter whiteout.
I'm not going to send him up yet. I'm not going to send him up yet. What I'm going to do is wait until we know it's nighttime and then have him do that.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'll just see the one star. And that's not as helpful.
Alright. Okay, so... We're going to theater of the mind this a little bit now. So you are constantly moving somewhat in a northerly direction. The mountain that you appear to be on is steadily moving up in elevation. I'm going to have you all roll Constitution saves again at DC 10 at advantage. Well, no, not all of you. Kanadin's free of this.
So, alright, hang on. Before we do that...
Yep.
Before we set out, I did say that we would travel as long as we could until things got cold and seek shelter. So before I would get so cold, even with the cloak, as to require a con save, I would either seek shelter or, if there's none to be found, my intention was to reactivate the heat sources.
Okay. What is your gauge for when it's too cold to use the heat sources? Because the cold's constant. Like, it's not changing.
Yeah, but like, if wearing a big heavy coat and constantly moving and generating body heat isn't 100% counteracting it, then I would react as such and ensure that before traveling so far that we would potentially suffer negative side effects, I would manage that with some method of warmth.
When they go rock climbing in Antarctica, as long as they have the right coat, then moving to their destination keeps them warm enough. It's not like they're freezing to death, too. It's only when they stop moving that becomes an issue.
You're not freezing to death, but there's a risk of exhaustion.
Which I'm trying to stave.
Understood.
I have a solution to stave that away. So
what he's saying is, if during the move we're still freezing to death, then that means he would absolutely craft that affect engine, because he wouldn't just say, "Oh, I'm going to slowly start freezing."
I just need to put them back in the devices and distribute them.
If a Yeti coat and heavy aerobic activity is not enough to keep you warm, Babbage is smart enough to notice that.
Well, Babbage is already suffering the consequences. You're already suffering the consequences of it.
Yeah, I let one go by because I succeeded, and then nobody told me that they weren't feeling well. But I wasn't going to let another go by.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you're not letting more than 2 hours go by.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we either find shelter to rest again for a bit,
or either we're gonna look for shelter, or if we're on this open plain with none visible, then space heaters abound.
Okay. As you are trudging through the rock, or as you're trudging up the mountain to the rock, like, it becomes, and you start sort of like looking to see if you can find some sort of cave or some sort of shelter, you're not, like, I'm not going to have you roll because you can't win this one. Like, there is no, because the wind is completely random, like, there's not even like a windbreak you can find.
Alright, so I will again encompass use space with my space heater and hand Bellarmine the second.
Okay.
Alright, gentlemen, Yeti coats aside, it's still pretty freezing out here. So, etc. Distributed.
Okay, so you continue very slowly trudging through the mountains at this point. You think it's around like noon? Now we're doing this here. I'm just going to move you theater of the mining this, since you don't actually know where you are, but just bringing you to the map. So for a solid it seems to be several hours now that you're comfortable and warm, but again, like you keep looking for like a place that maybe you can just sit down and rest, and it just isn't happening. So this goes on for about a couple hours. At one point, Kanadin, you again think you hear howling, and then Who spots a wolf off in the distance, but it seems to intentionally be keeping its pace, keeping like away from you, like it's not closing. It seems to just be more keeping tabs, you think, because it just is staying like a good 50 feet away constantly. And every once in a while you think like one swaps out and one swaps back in. But the wolves seem to be...
It's full of Yeti.
Yeah, it's just trucking along. So this goes on for...
Kanadin if it's tracking us like that.
Say again?
Like, if we're all wearing coats except Kanadin, that must be the only thing that's... Can they see us, or are they simply smelling us this whole time?
You're not 100% sure? It does seem to be both sniffing and sort of just keeping pace with you. But like coming close, moving away, coming close, moving away. Like it's not like a constant 50-foot exact radius, but it is just, it's staying mostly out of everybody else's sight, but Who can sort of see that there is a wolf at least keeping pace, but again, just one. As you're moving up through the mountains. So it gets to be about... I mean, you're doing this for several hours at this point, so it probably around what you think is midday at this point, like mid-afternoon, because you think the light through the white and out is starting to slowly darken. You realize you start moving, you've reached what appears to be a crest, and you start moving downhill.
Any change in the wind?
No. No change in the wind whatsoever.
What should we be seeing right now? The Crescent Isle map?
Yeah, I just don't have a... Here. You will now go... So it gets to the point where... so you start moving down. Again, this is grueling. The wind's constantly whipping at your face. You have the space heater that's keeping you warm, and your cloak's kind of keeping the wind off you, but you still your nose hurts, your face hurts from the wind. It's frustrating. You're constantly sort of trudging through snow, every once in a while tripping on a rock that you can't see. There's just you don't have much of a sense of smell anymore because you just haven't smelled anything but a non-stop wind and snow this whole time.
I'm just Legolasing it.
Kanadin's surprisingly chill and dapper, but you can tell that your compatriots the morale is kind of going down because this is just it's just a slog.
Mm-hmm.
So at about roughly the time of, you think the sun's starting to really come down, where it's a couple more hours you're headed downhill, is where I am putting you here. It's starting to get to what you think is early evening time frame. You is kind of feeling it because he's still exhausted from earlier, but otherwise.
So the only thing that'll get rid of a level of exhaustion is
either a spell or effect as
a long rest, right?
Or a long
There's
rest.
a spell that does it, or a long rest. A long rest removes 1 level of exhaustion. So if you somehow get yourself to 4 levels of exhaustion, you need days to recover. So yeah, you are where you are. Actually, so you're coming out. You seem to have managed to you get what you thought is it's a small valley. So you have you've sort of been telling you've been moving through this slotted ravine down to the wild, and it seems like you finally hit flat. So you get a sense that you may have actually finally gotten to the bottom of this terrain that you've been trudging across for most of a day. Did I move you all? You were on the map, right? Yeah. Nobody's reacting.
So
hold on, let me move. See, maybe that helps.
Continue moving north, I suppose. Everybody all right with this?
I've got one of those circle things too, right? The red ones.
Yeah, you actually have one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking near you.
So you've got one, and Babbage has got one, and Robert's... Yeah.
Wherever he goes, we go, my buddy.
Okay, follow. Stay close. Let's continue.
Oh, who is doing laps, of course.
Got it. So who's starting to? I mean, who's like occasionally sending you images, and it seems like you're finally getting to a place where it's just open.
So we've basically gotten through the mountain range and out into the open cold plains. Is that accurate assessment?
That appears to be where you are. Yes.
But
Right.
there's still whiteout conditions.
Yes. Non-stop, and it's getting darker and darker.
Okay.
I know
Does
this
it
is
seem
rough,
like
guys,
it-
but hang in there.
Does it seem like it's dark enough that I would normally assume I could start looking at stars in the sky? For some reason.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Trudging along through.
Something I just realized, if I send Who off like that, how's he gonna find us? Like, if he... How's he gonna know?
Excellent query, Mr. Druid.
And I don't want to willingly kill another owl that probably got griffined at some point.
Yeah, who's, I mean, trying to stay close enough that he can keep track of you, but at this point, it's just, there's not a whole lot of anything. It seems to be you're just in endless white. Oh, hold on, sorry. Wait. I gotta put you... My bad, you're all down here. Oh, actually, stand by. Why did I not... Sorry, give me a second. I'm gonna put you back here. Stand by. And just easier.
Red 4, standing by.
Just easier for me to copy and paste everybody over so that you all have your tokens and things on here. Okay. Alright, sorry. You're all near each other. Everybody make perception checks.
Oh,
Oh crap, what did I do? 19, 5.
Oops. I don't know why that was in my things.
It's all good. You make it a disadvantage because you're exhausted. 13. And an 18. Not bad. Alright, so you and Zach, you've been walking across this tundra for a while now. Both of you think you feel something underneath your feet move. Like you feel like the ground, like...
Goo.
ooh. I look back and see if anybody else noticed it.
You see me kind of like a dog getting perturbed at the onset of an earthquake.
You felt that too. Alright, gentlemen, we have an issue. We have movement on the ground. Did it feel like the whole ground moved, or like the snow under our feet is moving?
It felt like it felt like the earth. It felt like the earth like hopped up.
Yeah, like an earthquake. Okay.
Yeah.
You, any idea what could cause something of?
You, it's the forest. This wretched place. No words.
Perhaps we just keep moving.
I'm trying
Are you
hard.
just talking about trembling under the feet?
I'm trying so hard to separate the fact that you has never seen the movie Tremors, and I have.
I was just gonna make a Tremors reference.
I want to throw something out into the snow and tell everyone not to move, but Planedin's idea actually, I think, would make sense. Like, just keep running.
Can I do a wisdom check to see if I have anything knowledge of the past or what this might be?
The past? You're gonna have to be more specific. I'm not sure what you're getting at.
If I have any knowledge of what this action of the ground shaking might be.
I assume Babbage is keeping up with me, right?
Yeah, I'm in your space.
Okay.
Kanadin, your spear starts to move, and I need everybody to stop where they are right now.
Hold up! We have contact within 30 feet.
Can you sense which direction?
Ooh, I don't know, can I?
No.
No, just within 30 feet.
No, but I need you to all make...
I'm going to touch myself and do guidance.
Okay. I need you to all make initiative rolls.
Oh, goodness.
Incoming!
I don't like this. This doesn't feel like just wolves.
Whoops.
My initiative is actually a 21.
Hold on. Oh, okay.
Large creature to the southeast.
So,
Jeff, you should be able to just click into the turn order and change it.
I wanted you to know why I'm changing it.
there we go. Okay.
Because of guidance.
Alright, let's see.
Deacon has cast Spirit Guardians, apparently.
Well, hold on. Nothing's
Or
happening yet. So,
attempted to.
So, okay. What you all... So, all of you start feeling the ground suddenly
Oh, goodness.
shake.
Jim knows what those are.
The ground right next to Bellarmine erupts as this gigantic-looking blue worm kind of thing comes spewing out of the ground.
Now we're all gonna die.
Now, is he close to where my spirit guardians are? Because I cast
You didn't.
them.
No, you didn't get
Initiative.
You didn't get a chance to cast that yet. Like this
Well, wait a
happened.
minute, wait a minute. I was
You
able
didn't.
to cast beforehand. When with the
You,
wolf.
that wasn't
what I'm
in
telling you
combat.
is your character didn't have time to react. Like there's time that the DM trying to make things work in the game, versus like you didn't understand that this was happening until so you haven't had a chance to do anything yet. Really.
Rocking ground, made me a little
Right.
nervous.
So so yeah, no, this thing's gonna go first. So let's see.
This is where we all die.
Let's see.
Jim knows what this is unless Mike's dumbed it down. It's gonna kill everybody on the map.
Oh boy.
Well, no. All right. So for the first round, I'll take it. I'll put it this way. The first round, it erupts out of the ground and is screeching and has got its giant mandible things. Because this thing's like taller than. You see this thing erupt out of the ground, and the top of it is out of the whiteout. Like you can't see this thing how tall this thing is because it's just too big.
It's like the desert worm from Final Fantasy X.
I mean, not that big, but this thing's pretty freaking large.
Can we run underneath it?
You're up.
I
So-
assume, despite what Jim knows, Babbage has never seen anything like this
No,
before.
none of you have any idea what this thing is.
Okay.
And Jim is genuinely afraid, which is good because Babbage would also be genuinely afraid.
Yeah, Babbage is...
Actually, no,
petrified.
Babbage has no idea what just happened. Babbage just heard something through the snow to the southeast. I don't think you can
So
even
this
see
thing
the snow.
came up out of the ground, is what
Yes.
you're saying, right?
Off to your southeast, you
Oh, right.
like you can't
I
actually
only
see this
see
thing.
it. I only see it because I have control of Robert's token.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah,
I
Ballard,
see
yeah.
I see the edge of its token.
Yeah,
Yeah,
barely.
I see-
So
I see
you
it
know
totally.
something very
Yeah,
large
and-
just poured out of the ground to your
And I yell at
southeast.
this guy, this gigantic blue multi-legged worm just jumped out of the ground.
Well, that sounds disconcerting. All right.
All right, so it came out of the ground. I can't even see its head, right?
You know something very large erupted out of the ground to your southeast.
I mean, I see what I see, right?
Yes. Well, you
Because
see.
who's
Oh, you
there?
also see who transport. No, who would immediately send this image to your head. So yeah, you see what who sees. So yeah, you're good. You know. Yeah. Although who can't see very much, but yes.
I'm going to cast Conjure Woodland Beings and pray for pixies, because we need to leave. We need to leave. It's bad.
Alright, hold on.
So,
How did I do this before? Alright, give me a second.
oh, and with,
you're trying to get pixies, right?
yeah, also with my bonus action, yes, I'm going to go Starry Form, but I'm going to go Dragon. So I get either an intelligence or rather...
Alright, so...
Yeah.
It's eight creatures, yeah?
Yep. And then you roll to decide, but it's Pixie, Sprite, and Blink Dog.
Right. Okay, hold on. So... Yep, alright.
So I'm now Starry Form of the Dragon, so that helps a lot with concentration throws. Rolls.
Okay.
And then you get to tell me how many fake creatures I have at my disposal.
Right. Oh boy. Alright. You want pixies, right? That is accurate.
Just look at the character sheet for the others. There's no reason to choose the others over what that pixie can do.
Alright, yes, that's fair. Okay. Alright. I'll move you over here.
So the question then becomes, should I roll a separate unmodified initiative or whatever they're... Like, do we all go in the same turn? Or do they have their separate turn?
I believe the spell states they have their own.
And I'm going to assume that you would place them where I can see everything that I created, rather than...
Yeah, I'm gonna try... How can I give them all...
It's beyond the whiteout.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can... Give me a second. Let's see if I just give you control of them all. Let's see...
Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, which have their own turns. So you'd roll a summons initiative, and they all go together.
How do I give you control of the token? I forgot.
You have to click on the gear, and then you'll have two options. One, so in the token, it'll give you the option to say like what it represents, but then in the actual character, on like the journal side,
right,
you'd have to edit it and say like who can control it and whose journal it's in.
There we go. Okay. Can be edited by... There we go. Alright. Save. I don't know if fixes it live.
You really roll 6 Blink Dogs? Oh, there's 2 others. I was...
Stand by.
I see 2 pixies.
Sorry, dogs. You know what your role is.
Alright, so we're gonna... dang it. Alright, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Pixies. And this pixie is going to be... Come on. No. That was that. No. Dang it. Shnikes. Just do... Nope.
Jeff, can you speak worm and tell them that there's some dire wolves that might be better to eat?
I would need you to buy me 10 minutes.
Delete and edit. I thought there was a way to.
I would be shocked if this thing is considered a beast.
Right?
I'm almost certain it's a monstrosity.
There it is.
For a moment, I thought, should I just get cute and cast Fairy Fire and we can see how we start doing against it? And I'm like, no, this has got to have some. This has got to have like a one-hit knockout ability that'll kill more than one of us at once. So it's time to.
Okay.
I don't want to share any of Jim's knowledge.
Did you roll a initiative? Roll a d20 for this pixie there.
Any mods to it?
What's their deck? What's the Pixie's Dex mod?
I can't get the character sheet to come back up.
They have a +5. They're 20 dex.
There you go. So +5.
Hopefully
Did
it's
you
not a
pop it out and then close it, Mike?
Yeah.
So you have to refresh roll 20.
21.
Okay.
Jeez, what about the Blink Dogs?
They're all one group, so the pixies, they're just all going to follow. So
they
your
get to go
woodland
next.
creatures are going to
Wow.
go right now.
Okay. The first thing I do, because I remember last time there was some confusion to it. Before, I have 2 different groups to talk to, so I'm going to assume that I can say to the Blink Dogs what they're going to do, and then the Pixies what they're going to do, but then execute simultaneously instead of, as soon as I talk to the Blink Dogs, they're gone. Is that fair?
You can issue a command to them and they'll go do it, yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell the Blink Dogs to immediately attack that thing, and then tell the Pixies to cast Polymorph on, let's say, Painted and Babbage each into giant eagles.
I do not resist.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
All right.
So now they're both giant eagles. The Pixies then, I tell them to immediately come and hang inside my fur, and then I'm going to get on the Babbage eagle and yell out to Bellarmine, Bellarmine, get on the eagle and run! And then at this point, the 6 Blink Dogs are now attacking the worm.
I kind of take one wing and put it down like a ramp, like towards.
Well, hold up. We have our own turns.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I figured I was just RPing it.
But do I need to roll anything for the Blink Dogs to attack this thing?
No. So they will.
What the hell is it? I see a token. Oh, it's evil tokens. I'm like, what else is showing up to this video?
Those are gold. Those are owls.
You said eagle. They're owl. They're eagles for the purposes of this. I'm
Okay.
fun
What did we roll last time? Because we've done it in both campaigns. Was it owl or was it eagle?
You did owls here because you were flying through the night last time. That's why I have owl tokens, because that's what you had last time. I literally copied it from.
I know I said eagle.
Owls have more resistance to cold.
If you want to say owl because that was the last flying monster you did.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's
If
true.
you'll give it to me.
That's fine.
Because that's what we used to get in here. Like I know in the other one we're doing eagles, but
Okay. All right. Okay. So the Blink Dogs all have. Let's see. What kind of movement do they have?
The
40.
beauty of the owl is great, though. We're happy about owl.
Da-da-da.
thank you for that, by the way.
Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So the Blink Dogs go a biting. Let's see.
And I made sure to say that I shouted to Bellarmine to climb on, right?
I mean,
You
you
did
did a
do
lot
that.
in your turn, so yes. Okay. One of those connected. For 4.
Yes.
16 or higher. Or 15 or higher.
Okay, and then hold on.
I'm pretty sure, Mike, you need to react to that.
Yep, I'm doing that right now. So one of the blink dogs successfully bites it, seems to yelp back in pain, and you're not entirely certain as to why.
It's a bobbit worm.
Okay. And you have two giant owls, and the pixies and the blink dogs have done their job. Canaan, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I extend my wing down to Robert to encourage him to climb on.
Yeah, I've already hopped on prematurely, but
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So you're gonna wait for his turn for him to actually move. So you're.
Yeah, and then I will take off in the opposite direction of the creepy worm thing as soon as he climbs on.
Define opposite direction.
North.
You're gonna go north, northwest, north by northwest. You're going course 0. Okay, course north. All
Yes.
Right. All right. So you're
continuing on in the direction.
You're ready to just to move as soon as he gets on. Got it. Babbage is an owl.
I am an owl. I will scoop up my buddy you and head north by northwest, or
I have the two pixies with me.
Or following Canaan, whichever comes first.
All right. Bellarmine, what are you doing? Oh wait, sorry. No.
I was here and I hopped on.
Right. Well, okay. So no, I don't. You don't see it, but the creature has its turn now. All right. Let's see. All right. So at this point, it is going to move toward the largest target that it can see, which is up here.
A giant blink dog.
No, it is going after the largest. It is going after what it now sees as a tasty owl. The blink dogs will all attack it because they all get attacks of opportunity.
Fair.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, those are much better rolls.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on, which way did 5 hit last time? So 4 hit. Okay. 2, 3, 4. All right, 6, 7, 4. Da, 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 da. Minus 10. Minus 10.
3d6.
All right. What's the AC of a giant owl? Let's find out.
It's probably natural, either 13 or 14.
So yeah. All right. So the giant creepy
12.
Right. So yeah, that'll hit.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, you affect other people's attacks?
Yeah, Portent can affect any attack roll we see.
Okay. So what did he roll?
A 2.
And what's his armor class?
12?
Yeah, no, he still hits.
It has a plus 11?
What are you throwing at us?
I didn't have that detail commit to memory.
Which owl am I hitting? Canaan?
That would be me.
Yeah, it would be Canaan.
All right.
Holy heck!
We're dead.
I told
This
you
is what
guys.
Mike said.
So
We're dead.
the owl takes 19 points of damage for you.
Polymorph is a shield.
So the 43, 23, 24 plus 13 is what?
I posit that because he changed shape, he doesn't actually get grappled.
That's a nice thought.
He bit a wing that doesn't exist anymore.
Hold on. You have resistance to hold on. Do you have resistance to cold or fire damage with that ring, or both? I don't remember.
Cold.
Okay, so that doesn't help you. So you take 22 plus. No. 20. Yeah, 32. Wait, no. Dang it. What's 32 plus 13? I can't do math in my head. 49?
Hang on, your math is bad.
45.
43 minus 19 is 24.
Oh, you're right. Okay, 24 plus 13 is...
So it's 37.
37 damage to... Where is your token?
Right there in the middle. So I think 37 damage.
Hold on, where is this?
Is he under
Ow.
Robert?
Oh, wait. Ah, there's you. Right, Hugh's there. All right, see. Oh, there he is. Okay, thank you. Yes, I didn't. All right. And I need you to make a DC 17... If the target, let's see, it's the grapple ends, target strain. Okay.
It's athletics versus grapple?
It's either athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher for you.
Right.
Acrobatics.
Okay.
I'm helping him.
Right? Okay, so this giant
same.
thing clamps down on you as an owl. Yeah, basically like tearing through to you, and then it tries to swallow you whole, but you manage to rotate out of it.
Swallow his whole, guys. Swallow his whole.
You're up. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Bellarmine, you're up.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to cash on this thing, banishment.
What's the spell?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys always have that as a possible get the heck out of free dodge type.
It
of
is the best get out of jail free card if it's successful.
It's not. Why is the number not popping up? It's like taking a second to load.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
I know, right?
Does the party live? Yes or no?
So okay.
His DC for banishment, I believe, is 17. His spell save DC is 17.
What kind of save is it though? That's what I want to know.
Oh, banishment? I think it's wisdom. If you give me a second, I will tell you definitively.
What's the number? What did he roll? I don't see
17.
it.
There we go. Charisma. There we go. All right. No, it's just an action. All
All
right.
right, is it charisma? Charisma save or banished? It's not wisdom, it's charisma.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I'll take the 6.
Wow.
Oh, banishment for the win.
You should mouse over that number. So the giant
-3 to charisma.
The giant tentacle thing takes a massive chunk out of the monk, out of Canadan, and then
Monk chunk.
yeah, Bellarmine, with his holy symbol raised, very determinedly, reaches out of this thing, and this gigantic monstrosity of a thing seems to just, in the span of half of a moment, like implode into a dot and then disappear. Yeah,
Awesome.
I just hit my tongue. Oh.
I just hear Orin from Final Fantasy X saying, "Enough."
Yes. So yeah.
And I just hit my tongue.
Okay, so
Hopefully
the
it
thing's
doesn't break
gone.
concentration.
So for right now, we're not doing turns because we have a minute, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Assuming this is the only one of these worms.
If the target is, let's see, hold on, how many can I do? Can I do the save? If the spell ends before 1 minute is
So I
passed.
have a thing I'm going to do immediately if
No, there's no save. He just is banished.
Oh, it's not like I can save every round type of situation.
No. He's just sent to another plane.
He's
for
on
a
another
minute.
plane of existence for a minute. Okay.
Well, let's get out of here.
Okay, so here's what happens. I jump off the owl,
Okay.
and then I say to my friend Canadan and Bellarmine, I say, I will turn into a giant owl. One of you ride on top of Babbage, and I will take the other. And then I'm going to pop off, use my second charge of wild shape to go from dragon form into a giant owl myself.
Okay.
And then
Screw this RP nonsense. I'm getting the hell out of here.
I run up.
we get a minute until that thing comes back, and it hunts by vibration, so we might as well make no vibrations. And
Yeah, flight
Maybe-
is phenomenal.
Yeah, I run right over to you and just climb on and grab a handful of feathers around the nape of his neck.
and I'm carrying the pixies with me, and I tell the blink dogs before I go. I say, delay him as long as you can, or flee and save your own hides. The choice is yours.
They all proceed to scatter.
Exactly
and by scatter,
As soon
I
as you
don't.
said the word "or,"
This is exactly what I want because it's like a crazy Ivan almost.
right?
And by scatter, I don't mean they run. I mean they all blink. Like every single one of them goes. Boop,
Right.
out of
So
view.
imagine this thing coming back and hunting by sonar, and there's just little random sonar blips in every direction around it. Like what?
Yeah, it's smart. He'll have no idea how to pursue. I just hope there aren't like 1,000 of these further north.
It would be pretty evil of the DM to be like, this major plot point you have to go to. If you don't go on this exact
This
like
major plot
5
point
by
that you're
5
supposed
path,
to go to at level 12.
then 10 Grimoire has come out every minute to just punish you for flying over my campaign.
We're like level 20 WoW characters, but we just went straight to the Blasted Lands.
Yes.
Well, let's get out of here.
So where are you going? Yes, where are you all going?
Northwest towards the
Uh,
mana mine.
Successfully.
All right, so you're
Yes.
you're flying through the whiteout just as best as you can navigate, or you're trying to go like up over the, like you're trying to go up. What do you where like what's the altitude you're flying at?
Can we fly up out of the storm? Is that an option?
So you're flying up, is what I'm hearing.
Well, we're certainly off the ground.
Off the ground.
Northwest is best we can figure.
My assumption is that the further up we flew, it would be more blizzardy, windy, difficult to fly in. But if that's not the case, I'm all for getting over the storm.
You have no idea what it is.
Well,
Would we
I
gauging
storm
the
gaining
change in the
altitude.
weather as I gain altitude and reacting accordingly.
So you're flying up, is what? So you are going up, or you're going
Initially.
Yeah, up and northwest. Northwest and an up direction.
Okay.
I'm just holding on.
And we're staying, and it goes without saying, but we're staying together within sight at all times during this whiteout. Like,
Well, I stated that I was following Canaan.
Yeah, you did.
well, you're following me now, but yes.
That's
right.
true.
Yes, Canadian is no longer an owl because he got chomped
I got chomped.
and almost.
Canadian
Thanks
is
for the 19
most
health
certainly
shield.
traumatized by that.
I mean,
Sheer
even if you take
power.
19 damage, he would have lived. I'm just saying. From the first attack I managed to land on anybody.
Oh, that's nasty.
The worst
We
part about
do
it all is
so
I
much
hit my tongue.
better when we prepare.
All right, give me a moment. I put you all on the map, didn't I? I'm off where I'm going. Okay, so you're going up. Before I resolve this any further, Zach, it's 10:30. You need to go home, yeah?
Yes, we can
Alright,
we
this
can
is
finish
good.
this.
This is a
section.
good enough stopping point as any. I'm gonna put you back on the snowfield just so I remember where the last place you were was. And with that, we're gonna say goodnight to the internet on a bit of a cliffhanger because we're now escaping from
Yet
a
another
giant worm
perilous,
thingy.
situation.
Out of the frying pan, dot, dot, dot.
Yes.
Is that known as a bobbit worm?
Tis not.
No. And with that, we're able to say goodnight to the internet. I appreciated that immensely. I think you all had fun, hopefully, just wandering through. Oh, we had a person actually come by and say hello with no timestamp on this thing. But anyway, all right. Good night, internet.
It was early.
Good night, internet.
Night night.